Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So today we are going to discuss about 6 tips to write better blog headings. Now today we are talking about 6 tips to write quick tips which are great for writing a better blog. Okay, and why do we need to concentrate on better blog headings? Understand this, that CTR still is a big signal. Click-through rate still is a big signal when it comes to ranking. Plus, I don't care even if it's not a ranking signal. Sometimes I come across this great blog headings, which I usually copy as well. But sometimes I come across great blog headings that even if the article is on top 3, okay, or top 4, I end up clicking that particular article instead of top 3 articles, which looks like they are filled with keywords. So I'm gonna give you an example on how you can do the same and how you can create witty, great headings which actually fulfill the search intent instead of just putting a keyword out there that, yeah, I have made a heading out of it. So yeah, let's get into it. All right. So if you haven't heard the previous podcast before this, then go ahead and listen to that, where I have mentioned all the 10 points which are good for blogging and which things that you have to keep in mind before publishing a blog. If you haven't heard that podcast, just go ahead and listen to that one so that you'll get an idea what I'm talking about. And this is like the part 1 of that podcast. So yeah, CTR is a big signal, and only putting keywords into your headings won't cut it. You need to have something extra. So what do I mean by something extra? So let's say if it's 10 leather bags for 2021. So in that, I have seen these small things performing really well. In bracket, if I write updated, okay, people think that this is an updated list of 2021. Or there are a lot of things. Let's say, like what is the best kind of leather, or in bracket if I write explained, okay, then that means like I have explained it, so it works amazing with informational blogs. So brackets and experimenting with it. So like in bracket you have written 2021 reviews, or after a list type blog, okay, or 2021 best men's boot reviews, something like that in bracket can change it. And there are a lot of ways to play around. Some people say that hyphen works amazing. Some people say that semicolon works amazing in the heading. So there are a lot of ways to play around with your headings, but don't just put out a boring heading. If you think that your blog is at 3rd or 4th ranking on major keywords, then try, if you have made all kind of changes on your blog, try playing a little around with your headings, and try playing around a little more with experimenting with your headings. I have done this with one of the nutrition client, where in the bracket I have written, or not in the bracket, but I have written added just plus diet chart. Like it was a nutrition advice plus diet chart for 7 days. And I started getting a lot more clicks on that blog. So it works amazing when you add something extra on your blog. Don't make it a proper boring keyword based blog, which a lot of people do, and play around with those kind of headings. That will actually help. Second tip is incorporate numbers into your headlines. That I think most of the people know, but instead of making this podcast into how to write better blog headlines, I made 6 tips to write better blog headlines. Okay, so having a number into it makes it even better. Third tip is to test your headlines with SEO. Again, testing is amazing when it comes to SEO. In long term, you can do like weekly test, best is monthly test. Change your blog headline, see if the previous blog headline was getting more clicks, or this blog lines are getting more clicks. In both the scenarios, always see that the number of impressions are similar, because sometimes what happens is like your blog ranking keeps improving month by month and you get confused. But keep number of impressions similar and see that which blogs are getting more clicks, and test around with your headlines, play around with it. Sometimes something works, sometimes nothing works. And if you find a particular format working for your industry or your niche, continue with that format. Like, don't change things. And very little story. Recently, one of the highest ranking blog for my client, which used to pay us a lot of money, got deranked from first page to seventh page, just because I added more content into it. Where it was ranking on fourth position, it started ranking on seventh page, and I removed that content and started ranking again. Like, I properly did everything as per search intent. I did everything. I made the blog way better, and still it stopped ranking. So sometimes don't try and fix things which aren't broken. Okay, in SEO industry, just keep these things in mind, that if something is working perfectly fine for you on second or third position and you are getting a lot of sales from it, don't change around it. Like, don't change it till it's not on 8th position, or till it's not dropping and there are better blogs out there. Because sometimes you do stuff to create a better blog, but Google algorithm is still not smart enough to understand that, yeah, he made a blog better. Instead of that, they just consider how many times you have mentioned that particular keyword in the blog, and number of words and all those things. So yeah, I mean, do that. Another thing, fourth tip would be, consider using quotients and numbers both. Okay, so like these kind of blogs gets a lot of clicks, where you write like, are you making these 7 blogging mistakes, and are you making these 6 headline mistakes? So quotients and numbers in one line works a lot. Like, these are more like BuzzFeed kind of format, but yeah, gets a lot of click from social media, from Google, both. Okay, fifth tip would be, check other competing headlines and make yours the most eye-catching. That's like the simple suggestion that I always give. Always make a better blog, but also make a better headline. So find a catchy headline, like something really witty, and come up with funny stuff. It's okay to make it something different, but think about it, that all the top 5 headlines, if your blog is ranking in those top 5, is your headline something so unique and something so catchy or something so explanatory that the person with the search intent will click on your blog, not on those. So keep those things in mind, and maybe then try and create something. Okay, sixth tip, last tip. Use free head analyzer from coschedule.com. I'm not affiliated or anything, but I find this free headline analyzer and on coschedule.com. You guys can go over there, check their free headline analyzer. It's amazing. Like, you can put your headlines over there and it gives you a score based on that. They have like uncommon words, they have power words that you can use, and accordingly it gives you an amazing tool or amazing scoring based, and you can experiment a lot. If you have 5-6 different type of headlines in it, experiment over there and it can give you a score, it can give you an idea. And I think any kind of free tools that are there. So what happens, like, why do these people create free tools? You have to understand it's a big SEO effort. If you can create a tool, let's say you have created a thing outside of your physical shop where a person keeps coming to use that free service, they will keep seeing your branding over there, they'll keep seeing your shop over there, and maybe eventually they'll come and purchase the product. Otherwise also, people will see a lot of people coming to your shop. Similarly, Google sees these things. So that's why there are a lot of brands who create free tools. Like Shopify have this burst where you can, it's like Unsplash, where you can download free pictures, and Shopify have a lot of tools. And there are other brands which have a lot of free tools, like Uber Suggest of Neil Patel, and there are a lot free SEO tools. You need to learn them, you need to know them, and it's an amazing effort if you are into branding. So I was like doing this conference, and on the conference someone asked me that I'm a car salesperson, any tip of that, and I gave him this very amazing tip that start making a comparison chart or tool to compare. Tool is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you like 50,000 or something, to where people can come onto your website and compare this tool. Right now, all the famous brands are using that. I'm not sure if it's because of me, but Car Dekho and everyone started copying that tool. I gave it back in 2018 that start making this tool. I gave it to him as a consultation that once you create this tool, start promoting that tool, and there will be a lot of people who are car enthusiasts will come on your website just to compare cars. Okay, and that will give you a lot of data that people are comparing this car with this car and start writing blogs about it. So there are a lot of things you can do with a free tool, just not getting the data part of it, but also getting a lot of visitors, a lot of customers directly visiting your website. So yeah, that's why when it comes to content marketing, it cannot just be free content. It sometimes can be free, anything that can help making other people life easier. So yeah, extra trip with the headline part. Okay, all right, so this is it, guys. This was the podcast, and I hope this podcast is helping you. I hope you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, where I'm recording the video part of it with a little more screenshots and everything. And I hope you are subscribed to newsletter. If you're not, then I'm gonna send a newsletter, I think today, tomorrow, or somewhere, and that's gonna be an amazing newsletter where I'll give some detailed tips on it. And yeah, that's all. So I hope this podcast is helping you, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.